Okay, I'm back. I'm probably going to have to put those two videos together because I suspect that instead of pausing, I stopped. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Moving on. Next is another Twin Peak Primitives. I love this one. The First Thanksgiving. This is a big one. Started this 9/26/2022 on 18 count wheat Ada. And here is where I am. I don't know why I didn't pick a hand-dyed fabric. Not really sure. Maybe because it was just so big. I mean, this is a lot of fabric. Look at this fabric. Right? I'm sure by the time I finish this, I won't care what the fabric was, just that I got it finished. So, starting another pile. This one I don't have a date for. It's a Dimensions Mediterranean Flavors. I don't love this one, but I'm not going to quit on it because I feel like I'm making progress and it will actually go very nicely in my kitchen, which is kind of a Tuscan kind of themed wine kind of themed kitchen. And I'm not going to take it out of this hoop because this is a nightmare to get back in. But that's where I am. And that's the whole thing. So it's really small. It's like the size of my hand. I don't know why I can't just power through. Take the needle minder off. Here we go. It's a good one to do if you're going somewhere like travel. I do have one that I'm making for my husband that I'm not going to show because should I decide to upload this and should I decide to tell him and should he decide to watch it, I don't want him to see it. It's been a secret for 4 years now. It was supposed to be a Father's Day present, then a Christmas present, then a Father's Day present. Now it's just, we're all going to be happy when it's done. So I'm not going to show you that one. Just in case. Okay. Next, I just started this one in March. And I started it because Pam, from Pam and Steph, Little Women's Christmas Morning. And I just loved what she did. I loved hers. So I felt that I 100% needed to do it. And I only worked on it the one time. So this is where I am. I love this fabric. I've never worked on this kind of fabric. But it's just, again, Twin Peak Primitives. You just can't go wrong. So that's that one. That's really fun to work on, and it's a pretty easy stitch. So, I hope it comes up again soon. Okay, next, Black Cap by Candlelight by Artisy. I'm stitching this on 18 count ivory Ada with all the called for colors, and I started this May 1, 2020. I don't have a cat. I'm allergic to cats. My son and daughter-in-law have a cat. My daughter has 2 cats. But I just could not resist this spooky, like so cool, right? I love this stuff. And it's adapted from artwork by Image World. And I believe I've also seen this kind of in a cropped version. Just a little out of my wheelhouse, not something I would normally pick, again, the whole cat thing, but, and this is where I am. So from a distance, so there's no back stitching in this. So from a distance, you can see that those are books. But when you're stitching them, you have no idea what you're doing. And it's so much confetti. So much confetti. Which makes the going a little slow. But manageable. Next, when I need a break from full coverage or more difficult things, this is Sweater Weather by Plum Street Samplers. And I just found out, listening to a floss tuber who, I'm going to start writing this down. If I decide to jump into this world, I will keep much better track of who I'm watching and when they're saying something important to me. Sweater Weather, apparently Plum Street puts out a whole series of these little hot dog dogs. And I did have a hot dog. I had a rescued from a shelter. She was a Dachshund Beagle mix, and she was about 12 pounds. She was honestly the cutest little dog ever. Like, what a crazy combination, but she came out so adorable. And we got her when she was 3, and she lived to 16. So I am a little partial to little hot dog dogs. But this is like just nice, pleasant, easy stitching. And I started this. So it's on 18 count vintage country mocha. Told you, big fan. And I started it on Halloween day of 2022. And again, sorry for the needle minder. Whoop. That's where I am. Didn't even get to the hot dog yet. Okay. Oh, please. Making a mess is what's happening. This section's only been 7 minutes, so we are doing good. Okay, so, little off on a tangent here. Does anybody remember the Marty Bell when Marty Bell was big in like the mid to late 90s, and everything was being Stephanie Seabrook, Hedgepath, and her husband Jim were Pegasus, I think was the name of the site, and they just did amazing things. I have a ton of them around my house. So many Marty Bells that I will show you. Completed Marty Bells. So I was in Stitch by Stitch in Cape May at the beginning of the summer, and I was going through their clearance rack, and boy, you find some gems in there. And I found this. I bought a few Marty Bells. Birdsong Garden. The use of color and the blends and the, yeah, it's half stitches and it's, you know, whatever. But that's what gives it, and a lot of back stitch, but that's what gives it what it needs, right? To make it what it is. So this is stitched on, oh, that wasn't this summer. This was last summer. What do you know? 18 count, Picture This Plus Ariel. So it's a very, very light blue. And I started this July 17th of 2023. And here's where I am. And yes, I use hair clips gently to hold my fabric sometimes. I also use binder clips. I know. For you purists, I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I don't want to make you break out into hives or anything, but for me, that's the easiest method. And I just lost a needle. I'm sure that'll turn up later. Okay, one of my favorites. I actually got this as a Pollyanna gift from my nephew. No, he did not pick it out. He said, you know, when you have Pollyanna, you pick things. Literally gave him the link right to Long Dog or 1, 2, 3 Stitch or wherever. Hoity toity. I've seen so many versions of this. People changing colors, all kinds of crazy fabric. I wish I'd thought about it, but I didn't. I love the fabric. It is 18 count Regency by Picture This Plus, and I used all the called for colors. I started this December 29th, told you it was a Christmas gift, of 2021. And here's where I am. I mean, the colors are beautiful. I probably just would have tweaked it a little and probably just tweaked out some of the pinkish. Maybe going for more of a burnt orange look. But I love it, and it's so much fun. It is so much fun to stitch. As we know, long dogs are, even if they take most of your life. Ooh, you didn't see what almost just happened. That would have been not good. All right, so this next one was in a magazine. I'm going to say Just Cross Stitch, which I still subscribe to. It's my Quaker Christmas sampler. And it was, you know, every month you get, obviously. It has long since ended, and there is a complete picture that I never bothered to print out because I would get it as a PDF, and no. I have all the magazines, and I just photocopied every page so that I have a working copy. And it's stitched on 16 count Sage Summer Khaki with all the called for colors. And I started it February 18th, 2021. And you think I'd be a little bit further along. But how cute is that? But again, not one of my go-tos, simply because there is so much floss changing, because these motifs are so tiny, and each motif has several colors, and then you can't drag it, you know. I do tend to carry floss, and you can't with this because it'd just be a mess on the back. And not that I will show you the back, but it is much neater than what I tend to do. Okay. Next pile. This one's cute, and this one's fun. This is called Stitch Every Day. Hands-on design. And she's got it in a drum and a frame, and I would definitely do the frame. And these are, well, I'm thinking of it, let me just say this. These are long stitches. I forget what they are down here. There's something crazy about the stitching in here. It's not going to be crazy for me because I'm going to do it in X's. I started this October 4th, 2022. It is on 20 count Lugana light orange rust with the called for colors. So these are all Gast or Weeks Dye Works colors used in here. Even though they don't have a lot of variegation, so I'm not sure why. But look at that fabric. Right in season, right? That is a great fabric. I love that. I bought it not knowing what I was going to do with it, and then there it was. Okay. Next up, Wine and Cheese by Cooler Designs. Who doesn't love a Cooler design chart? This is the second. I have the summer. Oh, I have more than two. This one, I pretty much changed almost everything because this is a terrible photo, but it was very yellowy, whatever. And like in here, this yellow greeny, and I wanted it for my kitchen. Like I said, wine, cheese, big theme in my kitchen. So I changed it to my kitchen colors, which is brave for me because I have to take copious notes so that past Debbie remembers to tell future Debbie what those colors actually were. It's stitched on 18 count Heartland with those color changes by Picture This Plus. Heartland by Picture This Plus. Started February 22nd, 2022. And here is what I have. So you could see around the border. And I'm sure you can see the cranberry colored wall behind me where the Shannon Christine design is hanging. But the other three, that is only one wall. That is just that wall. Well, that's tile. That's tile. The other three walls are pretty much the exact green you see here, like an olivey green, for lack of a better way to describe it. So I think now it will match much better. But what it has forced me to do as a result is also alter some things. I think there's some things in here that I'm going to change, or maybe just leave negative space because it's such a pretty fabric. And it can hold its own with a little negative space. Let me tell you what I'm thinking of. These yellows. So now that I'm not doing yellow here, I can't very well do yellow here. And the green and the red are probably too dark. But I don't know yet. Again, future problem. But I will take good notes to me. Okay. Sticking with the whole wine theme, this is called Wine, Cheese, and Grapes. And where did I get this? I don't even know where I got this. I'm sorry. I literally don't know. How cool is that? I love that. And the colors, yes, a lot of brown. I mean, it's brick after all, but a lot of colors in it that the picture doesn't lend itself to. And of course, I printed that off of my printer. And while I do have a good printer, because like I said, I work from home, I have a good printer, but still not good enough. So I started this July 14th, 2020. It is on 18 count vintage country mocha. And I am on page 2. And this is in Pattern Keeper. So because I didn't have Pattern Keeper when I started, let me see if I'm remembering this right. I didn't have Pattern Keeper when I started this. So once I loaded it into Pattern Keeper, I had to go back and pretty much block out the whole first page. Problem with that was I thought I was done the whole first page and I wasn't. So then I had blocked out everything and then I couldn't figure out where I was. Then I had to unblock everything. It was a little bit of a mess, I'm not gonna lie, but it's right now so that when I go back to it in Pattern Keeper, this is definitely one of those patterns that really does lend itself to Pattern Keeper because, I mean, it could be, you know, this color, there is more of this color, but it's probably like in here somewhere. And I don't make too many counting errors, but I'm not going to take that chance. So I'll just get there when I get there. But that one's fun. I like the ones that make me think a little bit, right? Okay. Next is a Glendon Place. Love me some Glendon Place. Also not the only one I have. Ornaments all around. I believe Deb from Country Stitchers did this, but everything she touches turns out stunningly gorgeous, and I'm sure she changed everything to make it even more so. But I feel like I saw her do this a couple of years ago. Maybe this wasn't it, but I feel like it was. And again, picture kind of can't capture it, you know? So, because it's really much more beautiful. Started this April 10th, 2022. It is on 18 count Picture This Plus Heritage with all the called for colors. And here, I just got a page finish. I just was working on this. I mean, but look at that. See, that photo does. You see it shimmering? And this does have back stitch. It doesn't have back stitch on it, but it does call for back stitch. And I think beads, which came as a little bit of a shock. Yes, a lot of beads. I forgot that this had beads. But when this is done, this is one of those professional frame jobs. There's no way I'm going to take a chance and mess this up. But look at that shimmer. I mean, who doesn't love a good Krynick, right? Even though it's very hard to work with. But, oh, well, why don't I show you while I'm standing here? Just look what I just found. Hang on. See my neat, organized, orderly way of keeping certain things? I know I told you I put all my floss in a card catalog, and I did. Not so much, like these are so specific to this project. Why would I not just keep it with it? But you've got all the different Krynick, tons of beads. There's a big snowflake in here somewhere. Sorry. Sorry, I was getting a text message. Very colorful, a lot of fun. Love it. All right, hold on. I have to move down the island. Okay, last couple from this particular basket. This is called Turn Back Time. The only photo I have of it, they turned it into a pillow. It was out of a magazine, and I will let you know in a minute what magazine that was. They turned it into a pillow, and it literally is that, like, cut off, like it starts with a cut off clock. But I just thought it was so cute. And Jen Lee, no, I won't tell you what magazine it's in because it doesn't say, but it came out of a magazine. I started this January 22nd, 2020 on 16 count Sage Summer Khaki with the called for threads and one addition. So I saw Jen Lee do this, and I actually saw her finish. And I believe she added at least a gold. It calls for like this red, which I would call orange red, and white and black. She added a gold, and that made all the difference for me. So I added a gold, but not much gold so far. So here's where I am. I just finished working on this morning. I was determined to get that clock done. And I believe the chart leaves this all empty, negative space. I will be putting probably at least one color in there. No, I'll probably put 2 colors in there. You probably hear my killer chihuahua. It can only be Amazon, UPS, USPS, or FedEx. She does not bark otherwise. She does not like delivery people, however. So how cute is this? I feel like the gold really adds like a nice pop to it. I just need to figure out how I want to fill that in. But it took me, this clock probably took me 4 days of work. So I am over this for right now. Oh, and let me tell you, when did I start it? When did I start it? Somewhere I had the information, and now I don't. But I started it. Oh, here it is. Did I tell you this? January 22nd, 2020. I did tell you. Okay, I'm getting tired. It's a lot of talking even from me. And I can talk. Another cooler design. Seashell Wreath. This was a Christmas present from my daughter at my request. I love this. I don't know how I feel about all that blue. It's a lot of blue. But since when you see where I am, you'll see what a future problem that is for me. but I started this March 19th of this year. I'm stitching it with all the called for DMCs on 18 count earthen. I decided to go a little bit off the reservation on this one. Let me see. This is upright. I don't know if you could see it. If you don't know what earthen is, it is a very hard color to describe. It's a pink beige, maybe? And that's all I have done. But I think the blue would actually look very nice on it. And if I stick with the blue, I would probably hang this in my dining room. My house is mostly warm colors. I told you the olive green, the cranberry. I have like mustard yellow, like very, think fall colors. They're the colors mostly in my house. Except my dining room is this very cool, 2 different shades of it, of a blue, green, gray. So it might look good in there when we're done, when it's done, unless I repaint the dining room by the time that happens. So that is it for that basket. Hold on, I'm gonna go get another basket. We're doing good time-wise, so just hold on a second.